Now let's talk about data science modeling, which is sometimes referred to as machine learning or artificial intelligence. There's a fine line between all of those terms, and a lot of people think about them differently. So we'll combine them together for now at least. Now within data science modeling, there are predictive models and there are prescriptive models. Predictive models focus on making some kind of a prediction for the purpose of perhaps planning. How many sales do we think we're going to have next month so that we can plan our staff that's going to need to manufacture a certain amount of product? Or for prioritization, which consumers or which prospects do we think are most likely to buy so that we can make sure to call them first, for instance? And then when it comes to prescriptive models, we're trying to understand what is the causal relationship. Is there a causal relationship between variables? We might want to do this to calculate the return on investment. We need to know exactly how many sales a certain initiative is driving. Or perhaps we want to build a prescriptive model to identify ways to drive more or less of a particular variable, a particular thing we want to measure and understand. Now, sometimes organizations will employ a data engineer that we've talked about in order to build the data set, and then a data scientist to actually build the model. Now, in other organizations, it's kind of a all hands on deck approach where an analyst might be the one to create a visualization, perform an ad hoc analysis, build a model, build the data set for the model, all of the above. Every organization is different. There's different levels of specialization. Well, and there's also a lot of different types of data science models, and we have a few examples of those on the right here. So first we have a regression model. This is an example of a parametric model. A regression model relies on a certain distribution. If it's a linear model, it relies on the normal distribution. Then there's non-parametric models that don't rely on a variable having a particular distribution. A decision tree is an example of that. A random forest model is a more advanced version of a decision tree. It's a set of many trees built in a way to optimize what's called the bias variance trade-off. We'll talk more about that when we get into data science. And then there's neural network models or deep learning models. And those are some of the most advanced data science models that exist, used to do things like determine what's in an image or what sound something made, all kinds of things. And that's a quick overview of data science modeling. Again, we'll have a dedicated session to this later on in the series.